Good morning, ladies and gents. So, with the issues and problems that I've been facing Conquerors Blade over the last few weeks, I wanted to do a bit of a positive video about what is going well when we can actually get onto the game, and that is Project Nirvana. So last week, I think it was last week, they've had their kind of first major installment of the Project Nirvana update. For those of you that do not know, Conquerors Blade is currently going through a huge process of optimizations, fixing graphical bugs, making the game run and feel and play a lot smoother than it ever has done before. A lot of you would all notice there is now an FPS counter right at the bottom of your screen in white writing, and this is going to be showing you your in-game FPS. I have measured this against the Nvidia kind of FPS counter as well, and it does seem very accurate. They do seem to report the same FPS, which is quite good to see. So what this is showing you that actually the FPS has increased significantly since the first update of Project Nirvana last week, and with it, honestly, the game just feels and plays so much better, so much smoother. Even in massive unit and hero fights, the FPS counter is well above 60 for me, sometimes even hitting 140, 150. So it is a vast improvement on the 30 to 50 FPS I was getting before the optimizations. So what they have done is actually load some of the textures. They have optimized some of the textures as well. You will find that some of the parts of hero armor sets and unit armor sets and all the rest of it aren't free flowing like they used to, depending on your graphical settings. I've actually had a bit of a play around. I've tried to find the best settings and everything like that. Obviously this is going to be dependent on your computer, your graphics card, your CPU, just how much everything is being taxed, and I think I have found quite a good little balance between performance and quality for me. The only thing I can suggest you do is have a really good play around with this, because I cannot, and no one can, give you the best kind of settings for your PC. You need to try and figure these out yourself. One thing I will say though is make sure your graphics driver is up to date to obviously take into account all the benefits of any driver updates, and then have a really good play around. I have found that actually in the in-game kind of menu, the biggest thing still to turn off if you are suffering a bit of frame delay or frame kind of lag, best things to turn off are volumetric clouds. Turn the physics down a little bit as well. Everything else you can kind of leave as it is. Just have a little play around. The I would probably say start off at medium, turn off volumetric clouds, see if you can then ramp it up to high, turn off volumetric clouds, see if you're still getting a solid amount of FPS. I personally wouldn't bother going any higher than just high, because you don't really notice much above that, to be honest, and you would rather sacrifice a little bit of quality for some extra frames. Obviously this is all dependent as well on the display refresh rate of your monitor. If you only have a refresh rate of 60 frames per second on your monitor, or 60 hertz, there is absolutely no point in having your frame rate go above that, because you are just not going to notice any different whatsoever. Most people nowadays do have 144 hertz at least, so aim for that. I am touching that quite often. Like I said, even in the really big fights, I am seeing well above 60 frames per second. You are going to be wanting to prioritize anything above 60 frames per second, whether you've got a 60 hertz monitor or not, because anything above 60 just is so much smoother, flows so much better, looks so much better, and in those really big kind of fights, it does make a huge difference as well. I think everybody so far that I have spoken to has seen a massive increase in the amount of frames that they are getting. Again, they have all tailored it to their own specific system specs, and you have to as well if you haven't already. But if you've been looking at the game, or if you've been thinking about coming back to the game, now is definitely the time to do it. They are still having a few login issues and server issues, but the game is kind of, when you are in game, running as well as it can, and in terms of optimization, frame rate, engine, all the rest of it, it is running really well. I just wanted to put a bit of a positive video out there after all the doom and gloom we have had recently. I think this will be a welcome change of pace. Keep an eye out in the next few days as well. I'm going to be doing my pre-season announcement of what I think is coming. You probably already guessed what I'm going to be predicting, but I hope to see you in that one. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please hit that like button, hit that sub button, all that lovely fan-dooby-tastic stuff. Let me know your results in terms of your frame rates and everything down below as well. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this one. I hope to catch you out in the battlefield.